Hey everyone, we're going to walk you through step by step how to set up an AI agent to your Basecamp account on a Mac computer. This tutorial is meant for non technical people, so if you don't have experience coding or that's always felt intimidating to you, you're in the right spot. That being said, this is a very straightforward process. It's only going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to set up. Then after that, we're going to test it out and show you how it works. I've got AI enthusiast Rob Zolkos here. He's going to walk me through this entire setup process. How you doing, Rob?
Hi, Chad. How you doing? Good. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Now, if you're following along, just know that we're going to be copy pasting a couple command lines and links throughout this. So those are all going to be timestamped in the description below. We also have a link to a step-by-step guide if that's more your style. So pull one of those up. You're going to want to grab stuff from that as we mention it. All right, Rob, let's get started.
All right. So for starters, you want to make sure that you have an account with an AI provider, whether it be Claude or ChatGPT or any of the handful of the others. Let's try Claude. Have you got an account and logged in?
Yep, got a Claude account. I'm logged in. Let's do it.
All right. Okay. Every computer comes with this program actually. Go to your search, how you normally would search for a program. Cool. Spotlight and type in terminal. Press enter. There it is. So
Little tiny. I'm going to make it bigger for anyone who needs magnifying glasses over both eyes. Uh, okay. Can you see that? Is that all right?
yeah, see, that's good. Yep, that's the terminal. What we want to do now is install Claude Code. To do that, we go to their Claude Code website.
Okay. And again, I have this preloaded. So anyone who's following along, um, where is that? Oh, here it is. Anyone who's following along, this is linked in the description, timestamped to right now. So here we go. We're at the Claude website.
We're on the quick start. If you scroll down a little bit, there'll be just a one line that you'll need to copy into your clipboard for the Mac. There it is.
This
The
one
one that
right
starts
here.
with curl. Yeah, copy that.
Okay.
And you just want to go back to the terminal and paste that in.
Okay. And then hit enter.
Hit enter.
Okay. Okay. It did it pretty quickly, it looks like.
Excellent, excellent. Now there are some setup notes here, and that line where it starts with echo is important to copy that line.
Okay, whole thing right here to there.
Yeah, just copy that to your clipboard and then paste it into the terminal there.
Now I see there's something about a local bin. Is this doing something to my computer? What are we doing here?
What you're doing here is you're just letting your computer know when the terminal starts up that this is the location to also look for programs that have been installed. So it's a very common thing, and it's nothing to be concerned about. It's just installing Claude into a specific place on your computer, and it's telling your computer where to find it.
Okay, great. Well, I'll
So
hit
you've
enter.
posted it. Yep,
Like I said, I'm
excellent.
just trusting everything you're saying, but I appreciate you walking me through it.
No problem. You can just type Claude now at this point because Claude has been installed. So you start it by typing Claude, pressing enter. And it's going to go through a little bit of a setup wizard. So here it's asking you what theme you want. So dark mode is pretty popular, so you can just press enter on this one. And here it's going to ask you for how do you want to log into to Claude. We're already logged in on the browser, but you're not logged in on the terminal. So it's asking you which method you want to use to log in. So most people have a subscription. So option one is what you would select. So you press enter.
Okay, and now this looks sort of familiar to me. Like I'm assuming it's kind of like when you're signing up for another service and it's like, do you want to just use your Gmail account to do this instead of creating a whole thing? Is it kind of like that here?
It's precisely like that. It's all it's asking you for is for permission to use your Claude account. So even though we've installed Claude, which is a Claude program, it's still asking, "Hey, can I use this account that you're linking it to?" So it's an integration method, and it's very safe, and it's actually good that it's asking that because it's giving you um, uh, an idea that it's requiring this.
Okay. All right, cool. So we'll hit authorize here. This is essentially, it sounds like it's just letting terminal use Claude.
Exactly.
Okay, looks like that was successful. So we'll hit enter. Some more security notes.
It's kind of standard verbiage you see in most AI programs, just letting you know that to be mindful that it can make mistakes, and then also just letting you know that prompt injection, meaning if you copy and paste things directly into Claude, just to be careful of what you're doing. So
Okay, cool. We'll hit enter.
cool.
All
And here
right.
it's just asking you whether you want to, how do you want to set up your terminal? Do you want to use the recommended settings from Claude Code, or do you want to go through and set things up yourself? So for now, I think just using their recommended settings is a good way to start.
Cool.
Cool. So Claude Code is installed. So we've installed that. We've linked it to your Claude account, and we've set up the theme. What we need to do now is we need to install Basecamp. So let's exit out of Claude by typing / exit.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
And what we want to do is we want to grab the installation command from Basecamp's agents website, which is basecamp.com/agents.
Already got that pulled up right here. Okay.
Cool. So if you just scroll down, there is also a quick start on this page, which is just a one-liner we've got to copy. There it is there, starting with curl. So if you copy that to the clipboard and go back to the terminal and paste that in
Okay. Hit enter.
and press enter. Yep.
Oh, look at that. Snazzy Basecamp logo popping up. That's fun. Okay, what's
Cool.
this?
This is like the screen we had with Claude Code. It's where the Basecamp CLI is asking whether it's allowed to use your Basecamp account. Um, Again, it's a security mechanism just to give you that peace of mind that it's allowed to use your account. Now, it's not going to go and grab all your data whenever it wants and all that sort of stuff. It's driven purely by what you're asking it to do, or what you're asking your AI agent to do. Um, and it'll only have access to the data that you allow it to. So if you, and we'll see that in a second as we're setting up the account and the project.
Okay, that's good to know. I know, a lot of people are very protective of all the data in their Basecamp accounts, as they should be, and so that's giving me some peace of mind to know that it's not gonna go in there, grab social security numbers or sensitive information and save it and take it into the AI sphere and share it with everyone. It's pretty much only gonna do output into Basecamp. It's not gonna retrieve things and share them everywhere, correct?
Exactly. That's right. It's very secure, and it's a first party integration, so you know that it's been well tested and secure.
Okay, cool. Well, I will hit yes, I'll allow access. Great.
Will
Go
you
back
see
to the terminal, I assume.
authentication is successful? Yep. Back to the terminal,
Okay.
and
Oh,
here it's
wow.
asking
And
you to pick an account. So you can see it's already because you've given it that authorization. It's gone in and said, okay, which account would you like me to use?
okay, cool. I'm gonna select our demo account for this video.
Okay.
Okay, set as a default project. Now, going back to that screen we just had, some people are only gonna have one account. We have multiple, but I'm assuming I can still access whatever account I want when I use this tool.
Absolutely, yeah. So you'll be able to switch accounts, switch default accounts, ask it to look up things in accounts that you don't set as a default. But setting a default for most people is good because it means that you don't need to actually specify a particular project when you're talking about it with your AI. You know, you don't have to be specific and mention it. So just yeah, setting a default project at this point is a good start.
Okay, cool. Same thing for, it looks like these are projects in this account, so I'm gonna select a default project now.
Yep, the
Alright,
top one
we'll
looks
just do
good.
the, yeah, AI testing ground, that's what we're doing. And then, says, "Where should defaults be saved?" So this is just saying, here, these are the defaults and these are the accounts and projects that will be first ones we look through when you make a prompt, and we're saving that configuration here.
Exactly right. Yeah, and it's giving you the option too that if down the track you have multiple accounts and multiple projects, and you want to be able to save defaults in by directory on your computer, it'll allow you to do that. But for now, a global is perfect.
Okay, cool. Set up Basecamp for coding agent. So this is saying we're going to let Claude talk to Basecamp.
Exactly right. It's an important setting. Important not to press no on this one because you do want to allow the coding agent and Basecamp to talk to each other. So you want to press yes on this step. Okay.
All right.
So that's all being linked up. So now we can go back into Claude and then
So,
typing Claude.
okay. All right.
Cool,
So we're
excellent.
ready to go.
And
We've connected the terminal to Claude and Claude to Basecamp.
absolutely. And those steps are the only setup steps you'll ever need to do with this terminal process. Everything from this point is set up. You only have to open the terminal and type Claude in the future. Everything gets automatically updated. So it really is now as simple as typing in Claude, which is exactly where we're at. So I'm thinking probably the a first good prompt to get going with is just asking your agent, "What can I do in Basecamp?"
All right, let's let her rip. What can I do in Basecamp?
And you can see here the agent has found the Basecamp skill, which is a list of instructions on what it can do, and it's sort of going through and listing them for you.
Okay.
Um,
And essentially, pretty much anything you can do in Basecamp manually, you can now just type in a quick prompt and the agent will can do it for you.
Absolutely, yeah, the beauty of this is where it can do like complete workflows. Like, let's try one. I think a good one would be like creating a new project, and then creating a new message in that project, and creating a bunch of to dos. I think something like that would really showcase this agent really well.
Okay. I have a prompt here that you just sent me. I'm gonna copy paste it in and then we'll read it over. Okay, so I'll read this prompt. It says create a new project called Basecamp Agent Use. Create a message in the message board that explains best practices for using an agent with Basecamp. Then create 15 to dos of great prompts that put agents to good use in Basecamp. Assign them to me and schedule them across the next 2 days. Okay, so basically, what this prompt is going to do is create a project that's a tutorial about how to use an agent. And it's going to give some prompts in the to dos and then tell me when those to dos are due. It's
Yeah,
pretty neat.
that's a fun
It'll do
prompt.
all that,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
You can imagine how much time this would have saved if you had to do this manually, But let's let the agent do some work.
Okay. Tomfoolering. Yeah, it is a huge time saver. Oh, here we go. And now we've got a couple of these things where it says, do you want to proceed? Explain this because this happens quite a bit when you're prompting.
It does happen quite a bit, and again, this is a security mechanism. It's a permission system that is designed to make sure that the agent is not doing anything that you don't allow it to. We authorized Basecamp and Claude earlier that they could use the account, but here we're getting into the nitty gritty. Can it, are you allowing the agent to actually create a project? Are you allowing the agent to create cards? So, um, what you can do is you can do it. You can give it permission just for this instance, or the second prompt number two says, give me permission, but don't ask again. So what you're saying is, I'm allowing you to create projects whenever I ask you to create a project from now on.
Okay, gotcha. And this is nice, especially when you're first starting out, just so you can get comfortable with it. As you can see up here, it says Basecamp projects create Basecamp agent use. That's essentially what it's asking in this instance. Can we create this specific project? So we'll say yes, but it's nice to follow along. Again, it's asking for another approval. You could say yes to all these things, but it is just nice to follow along and make sure you're cool with whatever it's doing.
Yeah, it's good peace of mind too. It's showing you exactly the command that it's going to run.
Yeah, and you can just so everyone knows, you can turn it off. We call it YOLO mode here, 37 signals. Um, Probably don't wanna turn that on when you're first getting used to this, just because you wanna get comfortable with it. Okay, so now it's giving me updates as it goes. Looks like the project was created, and now it's posting the message and creating the to-do list. And this is just asking, can I post this message? We'll say yes. To-do list, can we create? Yes. I think it's gonna ask if I for permission for most of the to-dos as well, if I'm not mistaken. So here's where it does that. So we'll just burn through all these yeses. Again, I'm just saying, yes, create that to do. Yes, create that to do over and over.
It's being very careful, just being
It
very
is.
precise and asking you for permission.
Okay, and now it looks like it's done, and it's kind of giving me a little summary of everything it did. Still loading all that. Okay, so if I scroll back to the top of this message, it says, all done. Here's a summary of everything you created. It gives me a link to this project. So let's hop into Basecamp now. This is where the fun begins. This is where things really start clicking. We're going to put this in here. This is the project that the agent just created based off of that prompt. We'll start with the message board where we asked it to create something that says best practices for using an agent with Basecamp. And it gives you a bunch of recommendations on how to use this best. So if you're just dipping your feet, this is a great way to start off and just have it create a project that walks you through best things to do. So this is really helpful. We'll go to the to-dos now, where it created a couple of test prompts, right? It says, try show me all overdue to-dos across every project and suggest which to complete, delegate, or defer. Right. So these are great prompt suggestions for you to test out and just see how they work in Basecamp when you put it into an agent. And then finally, we asked it to schedule all these to dos. As you can see, there's a couple of due dates here. We'll go to the schedule. Look at that over the next 2 days. So we've got it's scheduled it all these to dos for Saturday and all these for Sunday. They're all assigned to me. So pretty cool stuff.
Very cool. Very cool.
Now, we did use the terminal for prompt, but is there like a less techy way to prompt Basecamp to do this stuff? Like, couldn't I just do this straight out of Claude instead of going in the terminal?
Yeah. Do you have Claude there? You wanna pull it up?
Yes, yes, I do. The desktop version is what I have, and if I'm not mistaken, you can't do this in the browser, but you can in the desktop version, right?
You can in the desktop version, absolutely. Yeah, so
Okay,
if you have
so
that pulled up, we're in Claude, we wanna go to the code tab, which is that third one up the top there, and here you can prompt away and talk to Basecamp. Do you have a prompt that we can use? Maybe one of the ones that it suggested earlier?
sure, easy enough. Let's go to our to dos. This third one looks pretty good because it'll like make a plan. So we'll copy paste. It says in Basecamp agent use project, find all to dos assigned to me that are due in the next 3 days and create a prioritized daily plan. That seems very detailed. So let's try that one. Let it cook. This is a very specific prompt too, which is nice because I think that's another thing that's helpful is you can't just say do this. You do have to specify. It does help to specify like in this project, in this tool. Sometimes if it's not told given a specific direction, it might go into a different project. So it's good to specify. All right. And I'm just saying yes to all this stuff just like we were in the terminal.
Yeah, it's got the same permission system, so, it will ask you for or let you know what it's doing.
And it even summarized up here my prompt. Here we go. So it just gave me a prioritized daily plan. Why don't we just say add this to docs and files? And then that way it'll go into Basecamp so that I don't have to keep it here.
Yeah, and you'll be and from there, you'll be able to share it with your team or whatever.
Yep. Give it a second. There we go. Document's done. Click on it. There it is in this project that we already created. Gives me a whole plan of attack for how to approach all those assigned to dos. All right. Sweet. Hopefully, everyone who was following along is all set up now, and it was painless. And like we said, it just takes some practice. You might have to iterate on a couple of prompts, but within a couple of days, pretty sure you'll find a rhythm. Let us know in the comment section how your agent experience is going, things that you are putting it to work for that are really helpful and maybe saving you some time. We're going to keep rolling out all sorts of agent related tips and tricks. So stay tuned for all those. Thank you, Rob, for helping me through this setup. I definitely would have been very confused at a couple parts, but now I'm ready to go, and I'm excited to keep using this. So have a good day, Rob. Have a good day, everyone else.
Thanks.
We'll see you later.